The film begins with a tight shot of a shaking hand clutching an armrest as violent turbulence rattles the cabin. Passengers cry out, their voices muffled by the roar of the aircraft. And the captain's announcement trails off mid-sentence. Suddenly, the screen goes dark. In the silence, a narrator speaks softly. Sometimes life chooses the most unexpected person to carry the weight of hundreds of souls. The flight from New York to Denver was meant to be ordinary, just a few uneventful. Hours in the sky. The plane cruised smoothly while passengers settled in with books, music, and quiet conversations. In row 14, a young woman named Emily sat by the window, gazing at the clouds drifting past. She wasn't someone who sought attention. As a nurse, she was used to standing in the background, offering calm and comfort to others. Her seatbelt rested neatly across her lap, her carry-on tucked carefully beneath the seat. Everything was in order. Then at 35,000 feet, the routine shattered. The intercom crackled. The captain began the usual update, his voice steady and professional. "Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached 35,000 feet. But his words began to slur. His sentence broke off. Silence followed, thick and unnatural. Moments later, the cockpit door opened. A flight attendant hurried out, her face drained of color. "I need medical assistance now." The captain has collapsed. Gasps rippled through the cabin. Some passengers screamed, and others froze in shock. Emily felt her heart slam against her ribs, but training overpowered fear. She unbuckled her seatbelt and stood. "I'm a nurse," she called out. Rushed into the cockpit, she found the captain slumped over the controls, his skin gray, breathing shallow. The co-pilot, visibly shaken, struggled to manage the aircraft alone. Emily dropped beside the captain, checking for a pulse. "It's weak," she said quickly. She tilted his head back and began chest compressions, pressing firmly, rhythmically. Sweat formed on her brow as the co-pilot radioed frantically. "Mayday. Mayday. This is Flight 228. Captain incapacitated. Requesting immediate assistance." The control tower responded with calm urgency, instructing them to maintain altitude. While preparing a diversion, Emily worked tirelessly, but the captain's pulse flickered and faded again. She looked at the co-pilot. "He needs advanced care. Can't provide that here." The co-pilot's knuckles turned white around the controls. "I can fly, but landing a jet this size alone, it's not safe." Then the tower asked the question that froze the air in the cockpit. "Is there anyone else on board with flight experience?" The announcement echoed through the cabin. "If anyone has piloting experience, please identify yourself immediately." Silence followed. Passengers stared at one another, fear thick in their eyes. Parents clutched their children. Strangers reached for strangers. Then a murmur began to spread. "Emily," she looked up, confused. "Emily Harper, didn't you? Flight school." Her breath caught. "What?" Years ago, before nursing, before hospital shifts and long nights, she had dreamed of becoming a pilot. She had trained in simulators and even flown small aircraft solo. But after her father's death, she had buried that dream along with her grief. "That was years ago," she whispered. "I'm not qualified." The co-pilot's voice cut in, desperate. "Emily, we don't have a choice. If something happens to me, we're finished. I need help. Please." Around her, strangers called her name, placing their hope in her hands. Fear roared inside her, but another voice rose above it. It's the same voice that guided her through hospital nights when lives hung in the balance. "If not you, then who?" She swallowed. "Tell me what to do." She slid into the co-pilot's seat, her fingers trembling as they brushed the controls, both unfamiliar and strangely familiar at the same time. The co-pilot gave rapid instructions. "We're diverting. Follow my lead on the yoke and throttle." Just like training, Kansas City International became their emergency destination. Outside the window, the sky stretched endlessly, holding hundreds of lives in fragile suspension. As they began their descent, Emily gripped the controls. The aircraft responded to her touch. The cabin felt every shift, every tilt. Behind the cockpit door, "You can do this," she whispered to herself, below them. Kansas City came into view, but so did storm clouds. Rain streaked the windows. Thunder rolled in the distance. Crosswinds, the co-pilot muttered. This won't be easy. The tower cleared them for emergency landing. Winds gusted hard across runway 19. Emily remembered her instructors. Words from long ago. The plane doesn't fly you. You fly the plane. Trust yourself. The co-pilot looked at her, fear in his eyes, but also belief. We'll do this together. She nodded. Oh, let's bring them home. The runway lights flickered. Through sheets of rain as they made their final approach, the plane shuddered in turbulent gusts. Flaps down, gear down. Each command felt like a lifeline. The aircraft jolted violently. A scream rose from the cabin. Emily fought the urge to overcorrect. Hold steady, the co-pilot urged. Ease back. The runway rushed toward them, slick with rain. She pulled gently. The wheels struck the tarmac hard. The plane bounced once, twice, then gripped. Reverse thrust roared. The aircraft slowed, shuddered, and finally stopped. For a heartbeat, there was silence. Then the cabin exploded with cheers, sobs, and applause. Emily sat frozen, tears streaming down her face, her hands still locked around the yoke. They had done. Emergency crews rushed aboard. The captain was taken out alive, though still critical. Passengers exited slowly, many pausing to squeeze Emily's shoulder and whisper their gratitude. Later, in the terminal, she watched families reunite each, embrace a reminder of what had nearly been lost. A little girl approached her. You scared? She asked softly. Emily knelt down and smiled gently. Yes, but being brave doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you do what you have to do anyway. The girl hugged her tightly. In that quiet moment, Emily realized she hadn't just saved hundreds of lives. She had rediscovered her own. As the screen fades to black, the narrator returns. She boarded that plane as an ordinary passenger. But when the captain collapsed, her name became the hope of everyone on board. Emily Harper showed us that courage is sometimes nothing more than answering when the world calls your name. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more emotional stories that remind us of the strength hidden inside us all.